Hi, this is Davey J. Fielding, Zordon from the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and you're watching Action Activate!
And that's all you get to see of that. As usual, it's a preview of the interview you can find up on YouTube. But right now, we're dealing with something much more pressing, the Action Activate live show. I, of course, am Gazbot, and with me, as always...
the Dawg Defender.
That's right. Please, in chat, if you can hear us, let us know, because for some reason, we're having all kinds of Evox problems. The Bigdawg was having trouble with the cars. I'm having trouble with my readouts here. Matt Kendall Clare was having trouble getting on and off, so Real Babu confirms we are good. So thank you very much. Sorry for the late delay, everybody. The world is chaos, and we're living in it, just trying to fight our way through to the light like the Rangers would. What's going on today is we are going to be reviewing I was going to say a classic episode, although it's pretty recent. It's a Ninja Steel episode. And
classic's a strong word to describe it.
Vintage isn't quite right either. What would we call it?
Not new.
It's a not new episode that we are going to review, and it is Super Ninja Steel, which is Season 2 of Ninja Steel. And hello to everybody. Dolly Girl, Matt Kendall Clare, leave it to Evox to cause issues. Absolutely. So obviously, once again, thank you to everyone watching us live and recorded after the fact on YouTube. But we had previously done first we did Masked Rider crossover with Mighty Morphin. Then we did Ninja Turtles crossover with In Space. So this one sort of fits that because it's Ninja Steel crossing over with Sherrif Skyfire. The difference is Sherrif Skyfire does not have a show, whereas Masked Rider and the Ninja Turtles did. But it is an Americanization of a show called Jiraiya, which is a Metal Hero show in Japan. So it is a crossover between shows. The only thing is there was no American version of Jiraiya for us to cross over, which is kind of a bummer. It would be nice if they would try to do that once again, kind of bring over some other Toku properties and see how it went. But we'll take what we can get, and we got this one episode. So this is sort of finishing off our trilogy of crossovers. Wouldn't you say, Bigdawg?
I would say it definitely, like some trilogies in the past, ended.
Right.
But I wouldn't necessarily say it was a highlight.
Okay, fair enough. It ended. That's very accurate. So without getting too much into it, because we're going to go through the episode, just generally speaking, you were not a huge fan of this.
Out of all of the Power Rangers / non-Power Ranger team crossovers, this is by far the most recent one that I've seen.
Yes, accurate. Okay, fair enough. Let me see real quick what we got in chat. Loud and clear. Matt Kendall Clare, Dimensions in Danger episode review, I see. No, not Dimensions in Danger. Good guess, because that is a Ninja Steel episode.
Good episode, but
yes.
No, we are reviewing.
Yes, we are reviewing Season 2, Episode 4, Sherrif Skyfire. That doesn't mean we might not do Dimensions in Danger one time in the future, but we wanted to finish out this little trilogy of crossovers outside of the Ranger family, whereas Dimensions in Danger is an inside crossover. And, that might be another series we do at some point, but for now, we're going with this one. And actually, related, I should have a little video up here, but I have it turned off right now. Let me see if I can find it. Nope, that's the features art. Did I not make a video? I thought I made a video. Chat to the people for a minute while I look for the video.
So, for those that don't know much about Metal Heroes, in terms of what we've seen from them outside of this episode in American TV series, VR Troopers in the 90s was a group of Metal Heroes. And outside of that, we haven't really seen anything since then. I personally like VR Troopers, although it is a bit dated. And this episode takes a look at a completely different character in suit than we're used to. I really like the design. I like how it fits the ninja theme. But as we kind of dive into the actual episode, you'll see my opinion and Gasbot's opinion. And he and I have not discussed this beforehand, so I think he's just as surprised as I'll be with his liking or disliking of the episode.
True, and I found my video, but it wasn't scaled, so pardon me. But what I was getting at is, when possible, for those that don't know, I'm an artist, and I do a lot of Power Ranger art and do a lot of Power Ranger conventions. And when possible, I like to feature, I do a new piece of art that'll go with the episode. Now, I didn't do Sherrif Skyfire, but I did do Ninja Steel Pink, which is what you'll see me working on above. Okay, I think we're back. Can you see us? Can you hear us? I don't know what's going on here. Evox is in heavy-duty attack mode. We could still talk. We could still see each other. Thank you. Real Babu confirms we are back.
back.
Excellent.
Ninja Steel.
He warned me that he was going to be making that joke a lot, and it still caught
And
me
I
by surprise.
still blindsided him.
Still
Matt
blindsided me.
Claire, Evox must be extra angry today. I
Yeah.
agree. I think that Evox finally went back to school, and that's why he is causing such problems.
Oh, I see. Because yes, the summer is over, and now it's time to rebel.
Yep. Ronnie Gunter, hello. How's
Welcome,
it going?
Ronnie. Good time getting here right after we crashed and hanging in there. So thank you for that. Erzuki, oh god, I'm just in time to miss the Evox shenanigans.
Well,
Okay.
do we want a quick recap?
No, because I think everybody got everything. I was just talking about the art. So we're gonna go over this Ninja Steel episode with the crossover with Sherrif Skyfire. I'm doing a piece of Ninja Steel pink art, which you can look up above here. But we're gonna get right into the review because we've been going on too long. So
one thing before we jump into the review, right before we crashed, the Immortal Red Fox said if we want any weigh-in on Jiraiya, that he is more than willing to share his hot take.
Feel free to throw some out. I've never seen Jiraiya. I know the theme song because I listen to Japanese show theme songs, and I know what he looks like, and that's it. I do know that this was part of the Ninja, which is which is Ninja Steel Sentai counterpart. It was part of a crossover because it was the 30th anniversary of Jiraiya, and I heard I researched that it was even possibly like the 34th episode, or there's some even more specific anniversary tie-in in Japan. But basically, there was a Ninja crossover episode because it was an anniversary of Jiraiya, and that's why we have this footage to begin with.
This was the 14th episode, I believe, of Super Ninja Steel.
It was. Oh, I thought it was fourth. Well, fourth or 14th, but the numbering doesn't work. Whatever the numbering significance was in Japan specifically.
Never mind.
Yeah.
I know it was after Dimensions in Danger.
Yes. Maybe. Yes.
No,
because that was season 1. Yeah, that was season 1.
No, I thought they were both season 2.
Doesn't matter.
Whoever wants to prove me right in the comments,
prove him right or wrong,
Claire, please do.
In my notes, I wrote that it was season 2, episode 4. I could be mistaken, but it's the one with Sherrif Skyfire. That I am sure of. So anyway, the actual show, for those who haven't seen it, that haven't seen Ninja Steel, revolves around the bad guys in this ship, which is a floating kind of game show called Galaxy Warriors. And so it follows the same format you see a lot of times where the villain sends down the monster of the week. But the idea is they're trying to steal the Ninja Stars. That's the greater thing. But they're trying to entertain the hordes of people. And so every time there's a fight, that's the reality TV show, which I think is one of the best parts of this season. I think that was a really good idea to do that.
I think it's cool. I think the execution, depending on the episode, is up and down. I think on this episode, that part of it went well.
Okay. Well, yeah. It doesn't always. You're right. The execution isn't always equal throughout the series, but the concept, it just was something different for a change.
Yes,
and it was,
100%.
and I liked that. And it also gave reasons why the monster might not be the toughest one in the world, or why they might let them fail and then gigantify them, as they call it in this, because it's about ratings. It's not necessarily just about winning the fight. It's about putting on a good show, which makes sense why some things that normally wouldn't make sense would make sense, because we're watching a show and they're watching a show. So again, a lot of people can say a lot of bad things about Ninja Steel, but I think that is one good thing about Ninja Steel. Let's see. Real Babu, season 2, episode 14. Okay, so I had written 4.
Boom!
I put a 1. Now my notes are now correct retroactively. So well job, Bigdawg. Good job, Babu, for stabbing me in the back. Diane Glitter, thanks for popping in for a visit. Okay, so going with that, they bring out the monster of the week, and he's this bomb-themed character. And he shows us how he could pull any part of his body off and it becomes a bomb. And then right before he's going to go down, oh, by the way, this character, I'm blanking on his name, but the Grandmaster, that's like he runs the show and he's one of the lesser
leader.
Yeah, he is. Oh, Cosmo, that's his name. He is voiced by Campbell Cooley, who we've talked about before. Scrozzle on Beast Morphers and friend of the show. So that's kind of fun. I actually prefer his character as Scrozzle. Not that I dislike this one, but I don't know. I like Scrozzle a lot for some reason.
The entire time we watched this episode, I kept comparing it to Beast Morphers for obvious reasons.
Me too. Yeah.
And I appreciate it that much more, and I'm really excited for it to come back on the 14th.
Same. Yeah. And so for those that don't know, this is the season that came right before Beast Morphers.
Yup.
And so there's definitely, you could see a division in terms of quality, approach to the material, and whether that's because Hasbro's in there or not will remain to be seen with the next episode. Immortal Red Fox is giving us some Jiraiya trivia. It says Jiraiya is based on Jinkan. Oh man. Jinen Kan Bujikan, it's moving ninjutsu, which I've trained for over 10 years. Oh, okay. In the original show, my soul plays the mentor. his name is Hatsume Masaki. Jiraiya is named after a legendary ninja that directly inspired the frog powers of Johnny Young Bosch in Mumps and Kaku Ranger. His main thing was to unleash poison frogs, which actually is funny because I don't know that side of it, but I have watched Naruto, and one of his teachers is Jiraiya Sensei, who is like a very powerful sage, and he deals with like large frog gods, so that all ties in together. So clearly Jiraiya equals frog is what we just learned.
He said it was his sensei that he was talking about, and the style is called Nogakure Nimpo.
Okay.
Is that hopefully right?
Good enough for punk rock. Real Babu says, Night Info Fox, I agree. And then Erzuki says, Jiraiya will always be pervy sage, which is a Naruto at the end. It is funny, though, that like all of these different connections to Frog, and spoilers, this episode had nothing to do with a frog even once ever. So, maybe, I don't know, maybe the Ninja episode did, but the Ninja Steel episode didn't. And you are really low. I got to fix your camera. Oh, no, now you're... Yeah, well, yeah. I'm going to give you a one shot. There you go. The problem is you can't fix it because now you're off in the other shot. So just don't worry about it.
My angles have no meaning on a planet under the cape of OBS.
That's true. All right, so we're taking a long time to get it going into the story here. So Campbell Cooley's like, whoa, I'm going to get rid of this bomb. We see that the bomb explodes, and hold it right there. Oh, no, it's Sheriff Skyfire. And he comes in having a voice that's awesome. And I looked up the guy. It's Mark Mitchinson, who does Sheriff Skyfire, and he is such a stereotypical, like, I'm the voice of the law. You know me, like uncompromising. And I dig it. I really do.
The voice acting in this episode, I thought of you the whole time. Not only A, reenacting them in this episode, but B, if they go, hey, you're a sheriff. What voice are you giving me? Well,
yeah. It's like,
here is my authoritative sound.
It's a shade away from like John Wayne or something.
Kinda.
Let's see. Everybody saying hello, and then Immortal Red Fox, Bigdawg did it first. Yes, I agree.
Whatever it is,
Yep.
All the things.
He might be referring to something that we just said. Oh, wait, Matt Kendall Clare. Sheriff Skyfire was in the 14th episode of Super Ninja Steel. However, in Ninja, his counterpart appeared in episode 34. Right, and I think there was some significance to 34, which I now forget, like that had to do with the exact date it aired or something, because, again, it was an anniversary.
Yep.
Oh, Immortal Fox did silence first. Gotcha. So he pops out, and he has a big old wanted poster, Galaxy Warriors GW, with this guy, the bomb guy.
I like the little scroll aspect of it. That was kind of cool.
It is very old-fashioned. You'd think that would be like somewhere between the Old West and like a knight of the King's Court.
Yeah.
And obviously that's got to be an American prop because, I mean, it's an American set they're on, and yeah, it's
GW.
Yeah.
And
that would be kind of a cool. Somebody owns that somewhere. That'd be kind of a fun thing to put on your wall. So interesting thing, and I don't know how much this is in the Sentai verse, because a lot of the footage we're seeing of Skyfire, I think, is American only.
Yeah.
Some of the fights aren't, obviously, but if you look, the white,
his mouth.
Yeah.
Yup.
And I don't know why it isn't a piece of plastic or fiberglass or something. It's like cloth. Now, obviously, the actor can breathe better, but just having an indentation of the lips, that's fine. But sometimes he's breathing or talking, and you see it kind of going, oh, wow, but it doesn't match up with the words. It's just it's odd. I don't know if that's, again, I don't know if that's an American thing or if that's how the character always is, but yeah.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say the way I chalked it up was he has the armor and the helmet and exterior, but underneath he has kind of just a simple gi and probably head mask, and everything forms around it, which is why it's just that piece of cloth that's accentuated because of his extra additional armored parts.
I think you're absolutely right, but it's a weird choice.
It is.
Just put a piece of white plastic there and it would have made it better. Or even leave it blank and let's see his mouth.
Are you telling me that his garments betray him?
Yes.
We'll always go back to Masked Rider. Every time we're going back to Masked Rider, guys.
We're going back. Oh, man. So he comes in and he's like, we're in the middle of a show. And he's like, I don't care. I've got to bring this guy to justice. So they're about to leave. And Madame Odious, who has now taken over since season 1, spoilers, comes in and she's like, oh, Sheriff Skyfire, so happy to see you. And he's a little bit gullible, as a lot of these straight shooters are.
They're not even gullible. He just takes everything at face value for better or worse.
He's not a detective. He's a sheriff.
The Rangers are bad. You need to go get them. Well, because you said so. You know what? Citizen, I
she is a citizen. That's true.
It's a galactic citizen. And I don't know who the other henchman is with the European accent, but I don't like how they're like, "Oh no, I saw it. It's true."
I do like that because it's exactly what would have happened. It shouldn't serve as proof, but that's exactly what like a little toady henchman would do. Like, oh
I
yeah.
know. Oh well, since both of you said it,
Right, and clearly there's no conflict of interest there. Mortal Effects, I liked it. I hope. Oh man, I can't read that real fast. Hope. Oh, him and Ninja are chilling somewhere. Yes, I agree. The two of them would get along excellently. Oh, I hope
What
him
if
and Ninja.
I did the Skyfire voice and you did the Ninja voice?
For the spin-off series that we're gonna create?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll do the voice acting for it. Somebody else can draw it or animate it or whatever, and I'll be Sherrif Skyfire.
And I'll be Ninja. The
Hope
end.
you're ready for some sweet ninja justice, slicing our way through crime.
Is this Sherrif Skyfire still?
I don't know.
Okay.
He may be someone new. Plot twist.
I feel like you have more emotion than he did, and then you were talking about ninja stuff. And I mean, he is a ninja. I don't know. You're kind of making him.
Ninja Steel.
I think the problem is you were making him more interesting and deep than the character that we were presented with.
That's the nicest thing that someone said to me in the last 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So we go down to Earth where Sherrif Skyfire is going to start.
You're
attacking
skipping
the
way
Rangers.
ahead, but yeah.
No,
okay.
I'm not. Am I?
Are you looking at the slideshow?
Well, I'm delayed, but yeah.
Okay, well, there's the picture of the bad guys, which somebody online pointed out that the Gold Ranger isn't there, but whatever. And because before we get there, I wanted to point this out. He's like, I'll help you. Going back to his costume too, I think it's weird that you could see his fingertips, and I think that goes back to him supposed to being like a human in a suit as opposed to. But it is just weird that you see his fleshy fingertips. Like whenever we see henchins or robots or cyborgs or magic or whatever, you kind of don't see their fingertips. Now, arguably he's a ninja and he needs that extra tactile whatever, but it just is a weird design. Even if it was just white, it wouldn't bother me,
Yeah. Sorry, I'm also laughing at what your wife just said in chat.
Hope him. That's a good ninja voice. Thank you. Dan Glitter's laughing. It embodies the spirit of ninja, says Arazuki. He has big ninja energy. I have a sore throat too, so I guess I'm happy I'm able to pull it off at all. I did 2 back-to-back shows the past 2 weekends, so
You don't need to brag about how much you work, okay? Jeez.
Oh well. I don't want to get into it too much, but this past weekend I did Godzilla Fest in San Francisco, and the second day TJ Storm came out, and he's the mocap actor for the 2 most recent Godzilla films. Met him, great guy, took pictures, did all that stuff. I didn't realize he has done a lot of Toku stuff, including being on Kamen Rider, was it Dragon? And he was one of the main villains in Season 2 of VR Troopers, which you brought up earlier, as Doom Master. So that was extra cool. But we'll get into that in another show, but
yeah,
it just reminded me. So then he's convinced by looking at a picture, and he teleports away. But before he teleports away, he has this fugitive that he finally caught. These people he just met, and he's like, "I'll handle your problem." Well, let's see, now I'm doing like, "I'll handle your problem." Once again, making him a more interesting character.
I'll handle this, and they'll be brought to justice.
But before I do, you go ahead and hold this dangerous criminal. Aren't these just civilians? For all he knows, they are television producers driving a cruise ship, and he's willing to turn over this dangerous bomb-creating villain, and just like, I assume you have a jail and a way to deal with this.
You see this right here?
Yeah, what is that?
This is the plot hole that we've just uncovered.
Oh, well...
Try not to fall in.
Make room, because that hole is going to get bigger and bigger as this show goes on.
We'll see.
Let's see. Mortal Red Fox, it's enchanted ninja armor from the source material. Okay, but the ninja armor could have had fingertips. That's all I'm saying. Or take off the mask. I think the fact that you could see his fingers and not his lips bothers me more. Like, pick one. Like, unify it. I know it's a classic design from a million years ago, but still. The guy is like a mix between Ninja and Hurricane Red. Yeah, I can see that. There is definitely some Hurricane kind of stuff. Dolly Girl, wow, I'm paying no attention. Oh, because we were just saying. Okay, Bigdawg gets another point. Oh, you too many points. All right.
Two.
That's
Ninja Steel. Every
many.
time either one of us gets a point, we have to rep it. Because we're only going to talk about Ninja Steel, hopefully today, and maybe one other time.
I was going to say,
maximum.
there might be another time.
Maximum. Those are the 2 episodes.
So there was this weird twist, though. He teleports away, and she laughs, and is like, "That fool, we're evil," and we're all shocked. So obviously it was a big lie. He goes down to Earth. But before that, we get the opening credits. And I'm showing specifically these 2 people, William, who is Brody, and Christy, who is Sarah, because they're both going to be at Ranger Stop this year. So if you're going, you can meet them. And again, I'm doing the Pink Ranger above. So hey, tying into all Ranger stuff going on in the world. Hey! So then now we're on Earth, and we're at Summer Cove High School, which is where they go, which I kind of hate this high school, and I'll get into that as we go through the episode. There's a lot that I don't enjoy about this high school. And the more I think about it, the seasons, not including Mighty Morphin, well, I mean, you could include it in that it's cheesy, in retrospect, although it did well at the time. A lot of the seasons where they focus on high school are some of the worst seasons to make it work as superheroes.
Dino Charge, they were in high school.
Nope. Well, they were their age was unclear. I didn't know if they were high school kids or college kids or whatever. But their focus was the museum and the cafe. They may have had homework, but they weren't in the school. That's my point. It's not about being young. It's about the high school setting. Because also Megaforce in a high school trying to capture that Mighty Morphin vibes didn't work so well. This one trying to capture it didn't work so well. Dino Charge, they may have been young enough to be high school students, but they weren't in high school. Similar with Samurai, again, I know people don't love it, but most people would say it's better than Megaforce. They were in a dojo. So I do think it's not impossible, but setting it in high school is going to be difficult to pull off now that it's no longer the 90s.
I want you to be proven wrong in whatever's after Beast Morphers.
Beast Morphers is not set in a high school, and it's doing well.
I said after Beast Morphers.
But it follows the theme that they're set up in this sort of paramilitary science base. Makes more sense.
We sent no
transmission
message to the likes of you. Thank you, transmission. I was forgetting. So the one thing I will say about the high school is
yes.
I like how we see the security guard today, and from my recollection, we don't really see him any other time.
That is correct. It's the first and last time we ever see him. I double-checked this because I've watched every episode of the season. I'm like, I don't know who this guy is.
You're a greater man than me.
They introduced him. Actually, it's funny. I'd watched every episode of both seasons except for this one, and I saved it so that I would be fresh. I watched it yesterday or day before, whatever, so that I'd be fresh. Odious was a ninja reveal from Immortal Fox. Mechano Claire, Odious was always pretty evil. That's true. Yeah, and now she has the power to back it up because she's in charge of everything. So she's probably just gonna get more evil as time goes on. Arizuki, the best and most underrated part of Ninja Steel is Victor and Monty. I semi-agree.
I politely disagree.
We'll get into some Victor Monty stuff that we could get into more. I do think they're better than people give them credit for. We'll get to some stuff and we'll talk about it when we get there.
Yeah.
Here's one of the first problems I have with this high school. She's coming in with her dog. Now, as far as I know, this is not a service animal. You can't bring your dog to school. How is this happening? And maybe if you're like a senior, certain schools let you leave for lunch and things. So did she run home, get her dog, bring him back to then return him in like the 45 minutes? It's weird. And also, from what I understand, this is the last episode we see the dog. It just disappears for the rest of the show.
Okay.
Because like they try to, because she has the wolf sword and they try to tie it in like she loves dogs and stuff. But then they're like, how is she always having a dog? It makes no sense. So they just never show up with the dog again. Immortal Red Fox says, make them all work at an internet startup. Today's kids wouldn't care. I mean, I prefer that to a high school. Like again, it's not the age, it's the setting. Just is always weird, because like it's hard to care about like homework when you're saving the world. It's hard to worry about a hall pass when you're being attacked by monsters. Like it's just weird, like
it's hard to work at a car wash when everybody needs you to help save people.
Exactly.
Beast Morphers.
Right. But they kind of showed that you can't do that. You know what I mean? Like they literally were like, this wouldn't work. Now, with Spider-Man, it kind of works because his life is a mess, and he's always in trouble, and he doesn't really have any friends, and his aunt's mad at him. But Power Rangers are always supposed to be grade A students, friends with everybody, on every club, saving the world, and being Power Rangers. So it's a little hard.
I have a hot take for you.
Yeah.
Do you think the most successful Ranger teams all did not have secret identities that they were Rangers?
Successful in what way? Successful in enjoyment or successful in terms of how
being
effective?
Able to complete their to progress their overarching mission most successfully.
So you mean fictionally successful?
Yeah.
Like the characters in that world being the most successful.
Correct. Like, for example, Lightspeed Rescue, I don't think it was a secret.
Right.
Lost Galaxy wasn't really a secret.
No, it was maybe a secret in Lost Galaxy, or it was from some people.
I think it wasn't advertised.
Right. Okay.
And then in space, they kept it a secret and they had problems because of it. And
Yeah.
then with this also in Beast Morphers, how we're seeing now, half the team of Beast Morphers have to keep it a secret, the other half don't.
Right.
And that's where a lot of the conflict comes in, as opposed to like, hey guys, we're Rangers. By the way, watch out in case you're ever trying to be held hostage by Evox or somebody.
I think on a case-by-case basis, you're correct that not having a secret identity makes it easier. But you could argue like that the original Rangers, Mighty Morphin going into Zeo and stuff, who all had secret identities, were very effective. I mean, they defeated like lots and lots of monsters, and they saved the world multiple times. And
Agreed.
you know, so I don't think you have to have a public identity to be successful, but I think having a public identity makes it easier on you.
To be fair, outside of the comics, when it comes to Mighty Morphin, that was essentially run like Charlie Brown, where everybody had parents, but we never saw them, and it was never an issue why everyone was away at all times.
There was an episode where we saw parents, because remember we saw Bulk and Skull's parents, and they were like very much like them. And
One time.
yes, no, you're right though that it seemingly had no parents. It's true, which also goes back into my they had like a time. Zordon gave them time turners like in Harry Potter is what I'm convinced. Off screen, off camera, you never saw it because they had time again to be in every club. Anytime something come up, oh, there's a dirt bike race. Well, we're all expert dirt bike racers and we'll get first place. And oh, by the way, I also got a trophy for cleaning up the river. And this was because of, you know, it's impossible. Nobody could have that much time. We're missing a lot of chat here. Let me see. RPM. This is Airzuki. RPM is like my favorite season. Working at a lab or with the government stuff is the best motif in my opinion, followed by archaeology type stuff. Mortal Red Fox, not to mention they are not kids. Agreed. Yeah, true. I get an agreement there, so point for me. Ninja Steel. The fact that they never, this is Airzuki, the fact they never keep a secret identity from the bad guys, their identity. I think the whole secret identity is necessary. That's true. None of them ever have a secret identity from the bad guys, who it's most important. It's always from their friends, their family, their teachers, which, yeah, usually it's, I don't want anybody to know my secret because then they're in danger for my enemy. But all of the enemies always know where to find them and are just too polite to attack them while they're at class or on a date or something. So, yeah, it's very unnecessary and weird, and I like the seasons where they don't do it. And the thing is, it's easy to go back and pick up Mighty Morphin because it does a lot of these things, but it was the first and it was figuring stuff out.
Exactly.
So it's easy. I feel more comfortable criticizing later seasons where it's like, it's been 20 years, guys. Have we not figured this out yet? You know?
And especially when they've proven it before. Like, the only thing that I think goes against what we've just established of the villains knowing everything about the Rangers, where they are and stuff, is Time Force, where they did know who they were, but they never knew where they were. They never went to the Watchtower, but whenever bad guys came back from the future, they would pop out and address them. But as far as I can remember, the Watchtower wasn't brought in where the villains knew until way later, if at all.
Yeah, I that's my same recollection. Well, we just got past the title, and we're pretty far into this episode. I'm digging the conversation, but we got to move on a little bit. So, okay, so here we meet Cliff. I think that's his name, Cliff, right? The security guard. Yeah, Clint. Speaking of Clint Eastwood, and he stops this person from skateboarding in the classroom or in the hallways. Now,
Totally fair.
But what's weird, this is what bothers me, is he's like, hey, you shouldn't be skateboarding. I'm going to confiscate the skateboard. There's a lot that goes wrong really quick, but this person presumably is a rebel, and they're like, I skateboard where I want. I don't care. But yet they're wearing a helmet, knee pads, elbow pads, full safety gear because it's a kid's show, and you can't show someone not wearing safety gear. But no kid in the world that is the type of kid that would skateboard in school would have their helmet and knee pads on. Those are two different character types, two different personalities. Yeah. And it's a little thing, but it annoyed me. Like, whoever was on set should have been like, no, this isn't a role model character. They're getting in trouble. It's okay to show them without a helmet. And in fact, I would have fixed it like this. He would take the skateboard and be like, and also, you need to wear safety equipment. You're going to hurt yourself or someone else. Fixes everything. Because now you're teaching the kids a good lesson, but the character is consistent. And they're like, I don't care, you know, and like make them a bad kid, you know, whatever. So a small thing, but it annoys me.
And that's why we've already seen a drastic difference in one season from this to Hasbro.
Yes. A friend in
Claire, Lost Galaxy did their identities as a secret, but there were some people that could have suspected them among the GSA. I completely agree with you, Q. A friend in need, based on whose parents is what Immortal Red Fox said. And yeah, rebel against the man, not against your own bones.
Rebel.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
I see what. Yeah, she's saying that do protect yourself. She's justifying that. Hey, I don't care about your rules, but I don't want to break my bones, which is a very smart rebel, and I don't think that's what they were going for. And if they were, I needed more character development on that girl.
It's a Gen Z rebel, Gaz.
Oh, damn. I wouldn't understand.
Nor would I.
All right, so Monty and Victor get the complete wrong idea and like, oh, we can get free stuff, and we want to get free stuff. Now, Clint is not the best security guard because he immediately is like, oh, sure, just enforce all the rules. That's all it takes. If he's the security guard at the school, and as we talked about, we never saw him before or since. He must have just started because there have been multiple examples of these two messing up, breaking the rules, cheating, being selfish publicly for everyone to see. So he can't have been at this school before. So he just takes them at face value. Oh, kind of like Sherrif Skyfire. Maybe that's the lesson. Authority figures take things at face value.
The unintentional theme of this episode is all people of authority are gullible, and it takes drastic, life-threatening circumstances for them to see the error in their ways.
Okay, well, that seems accurate, and that's a more important lesson than, safety of helmets and consistency of characters. Yeah. So he gives them this rule book, and he says, basically, you're drafted, and he gives them these little badges. And the first thing they do, and here's the thing, Victor and Monty, I like, let me put it this way, I like the actors.
Yes.
I think they're both good actors. And sometimes I like what they're doing, and sometimes I don't. And I blame that on the writing.
Yep.
And I struggle with it because a lot of what they're doing is like very, again, Bulk and Skull and very classic comedy. But it seems like whoever's writing it or editing it just doesn't know quite how to hit that just right sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but face acting, yes, Real Babu. There is good face acting, especially from Monty. They both do a good. Well, I guess Victor does too, but Victor's more the ho ho kind of thing, and Monty's always like, like he does pull some really good faces. But so they immediately, like a second later, like Clint is probably still standing in that hallway, and they're like, hey, by the way, give us your banana because it's against the rules, which of course makes no sense. But she's like, well, they have those little badge stickers. I better listen. And unquestioningly might be a little annoyed, but gives up her food because she follows the rules and doesn't question it. And then speaking of face acting, there's Monty pulling a good one. And then immediately Victor starts eating it. So it's against the rules, but I can eat it. It's like a cop speeding, or like.
And the plot hole thickens.
and like again, if she called him out and was like, "Well, how come you could eat it?" and then they just walked away, like, but it's like I don't know. I like their comedic faces and the attitude they're pulling, but it seems ridiculous that they'd be given authority and people would respect that authority.
The other thing is, if you're gonna have them do bad stuff, have them do it much better than stealing a banana and eating it.
Yeah, but I guess they don't want to make them
lean
villains.
in or don't lean in.
But that's the thing. They're skating this line, similar to how I say sometimes they're funny and sometimes they're super annoying, where they're having trouble picking one because they're not villains. In the beginning of Mighty Morphin, Bulk and Skull were villains. They were comedic, but they were bad. And over time, they got better. Victor and Monty are kind of sort of bad, but not really. Like, they can't, like, they're not. They need to, yeah, you're right, commit. But I don't think they want them to be that bad.
So if you're saying they're skating the line, are they skateboarding the line indoors with pads?
Ninja Steel.
Let's catch up on chat really quick. As a good kid, trademark, I would totally leave the house with safety gear out of fear of my parents, but then do stupid stuff later because I don't fear other people.
Fear.
Oh, fear. Got it.
Yeah.
Didn't see that part. We cracked the code, Ninja Steel, and agreed they aren't perfect, but I don't blame the actors at all. Those actors really made these parts the most entertaining thing in an otherwise corrected terrible season.
Whoa!
Ouch!
Whoa!
Sorry, I had loud reaction to Alex's horrible pun.
I like how Bigdawg, you have been sort of like, well, this was not my favorite that I've seen, and you're kind of skirting around saying you hated it or that it was terrible, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you're like, it's a terrible season. What happened?
So
what just snapped in your brain that you couldn't remain diplomatic any longer?
I haven't watched all of it.
Like another season you like a lot. Operation Overdrive.
I finally caught up on the episode that I was here for. Arf arf.
Oh, you did.
And I'll give you full props on spreading your Overdrive propaganda. But in all honesty, this season, like, the thing that makes it that much worse is when I watched it, the parts I didn't like it. Now that I have Beast Morphers,
Right.
I absolutely despise it because of how much potential I'm able to see actually be used. Where I feel like a lot of stuff Beast Morphers is doing and is going to do could have been done here, and they just squandered it all because of who knows what, with an arguably better theme.
So you're upset that because this could have been the next Overdrive, and yet it's falling short of your favorite season. Is that what you're saying? Moving on. So here
She
we
has
see
a dog indoors at a school without a permit.
Yes, and we're getting to that. So we cut over to her. She's like, we're eating, you should eat. She's also hopefully not feeding the dog human food because that would not be smart. But she's feeding him something.
Just a handful of beans.
A handful of beans. Here you go. Have some baked beans there, buddy. Like that old commercial. And so here comes Clint, and he's like, hey, come on. You know you're not supposed to have the dog in here. Then she totally incriminates herself. And she's like, I've had him in here like a dozen times. It's never been a problem. Which means this isn't some special event. Every day, she either brings her dog to school or runs home during lunch and brings him in. And then he doesn't go, like, and this is what's kind of weird, too, because even, like, an actual cop, not just a security guard, like, they could just write you a bunch of tickets if you're like, oh, like if I jaywalked and I got a ticket and I'm like, I jaywalk here all the time. No cop in the world would be like, oh, well then here's 10 tickets.
Retroactive tickets
doesn't work that way.
Only for security guards in Power Rangers in a single episode.
Yeah, that seemed a bit excessive. It seems like he should have been like, well, you've been lucky. I caught you this time. Don't do it again. You like give him her talking to, but it's like, oh, because she was honest, she's getting punished. It just seemed a little weird.
Can you tell me those dates so I know how to properly incriminate you?
Is there witnesses here I could get to corroborate your incrimination against yourself? Immortal Red Fox just watched Gal Ranger, which is Wild Force for those that don't know. And then Airzuki, whenever Bigdawg gets all worked up and hates something, it makes me want to like that thing more out of principle, meaning Overdrive. So
meaning this.
We'll see. So he
Overdrive you both already love, just because I don't like it, which is fine.
Look, one day we're going to have to get into Overdrive for real, and we're going to have you explain everyone why you like it so much.
No, I hate it.
But today's not the day. Today's not the day. We're focusing on your second favorite season, Ninja Steel.
I want you to use so many of these frustrated faces for the thumbnail.
We'll see.
And just scattered everywhere of like, no! Like something.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll do that. I definitely won't promote how this is your second favorite season now. So she's leaving, and she's like, well, I guess I'm in trouble. I'm just going to leave. Which also is like she was sitting there with her friends, and I guess maybe she's taking the dog out, but she goes to throw away her can, throws it in regular trash instead of recycling. He picks it up, and he's like, yo, another ticket. And she's like, really, dog? Come on. Now, he's right. But it is sort of like you gotta do me like that, like right, like one after the other.
I love the face acting on this because I feel like she didn't act at all. She's just like, I'm so annoyed on so many levels.
I've just gotten 13 tickets in 1 minute. Like it's ridiculous.
So bad.
So then they get a call on the wrist. The wrist. It's not a morpher. It's a communications device, whatever.
Yeah, I hate this communicator.
I only hated it in the early episode where he was using it to cheat on tests, and then they said don't rely on it, but then he needed it to like fight the monster later, and it was a weird, convoluted message. But that's not the episode we're talking about. Here's what I don't like. Your favorite part of this season is Victor, or I'm sorry, Airzuki's favorite part of this season is Victor and Monty. My favorite part is this guy, Mick. He's my favorite part of both seasons.
And he's not in it at all.
This is the only time you should be like, Rangers, there's buzzcam activity, which I don't even know if he filmed it for this episode because he said that a lot. They might have just used stock footage. And that was it. No more Mick. Sad days.
Going back one frame, I like how everyone is looking at the communicator except for Pink. She's just totally zoned out. He's got his drink in hand. Like, what's going on? She's we're filming. Shoot.
It makes me think of my cats. When you make certain, like if you clap or something, they'll look at you. But if you make like a bee kind of noise, they'll look around. So it's like the communicator went off, and she went like, what is it?
What could it be?
Matt Claire, they were called Ninja Comms, if I remember right. That does sound right, Matt Claire. Airzuki, okay, Gazbot, you're right. Mick is pretty awesome and objectively better than Victor and Monty. I think Victor and Monty don't get enough credit, though. I think they get more hate than they should, though. I agree with everything Airzuki just said. And Red Fox, did Gaz just confuse Bigdawg and his life partner? Well, I mean, they're both connected to me in a duo sort of capacity. Just one likes Operation Overdrive and one doesn't. And
the other is married to you.
Yes. So then Mick calls him and they head out to buzzcam activity. here's something I noticed too. They all get up to leave. They leave all of their trash on the table. Is leaving all of your trash and recycling on the table better than accidentally throwing the can in the wrong receptacle? Because now who cleans this? So would it have been better? And I'm not trying to even make a joke here. I'm just trying to understand the world. I'm in the cafeteria, right? I have a can. If I leave it on the table, that is better than throwing it away incorrectly because someone will come clean it for me.
I think now you actually pointed out something very interesting. I think when we see Officer Ranger Danger again later,
Not his
forget
name.
his name,
Skyfire.
Clint.
That guy, Clint. Okay.
There we go. When we see
Ranger Danger.
When we see Ranger Danger Clint later, I think this scene helps with his argument that he makes later on in the episode.
Sort of. But his argument is, I mean, it's not a spoiler, so we could just say, he's like, oh, all the kids are always mixing up recycling and whatever. And I think I just restarted the art video. Oh, well.
He says like later on that, oh, it's nobody does it, so I just do it even though it's not part of my job.
Right.
I'm sure he came back and was just like, these crazy kids leaving their trash and recyclables.
But he says, she's like, it's not your job to separate the recyclables and the litter, right? And he says, it's not, but somebody has to do it. So you just said, well, similarly, they didn't clean up their mess. And he's like, well, it's not my job, but somebody has to do it. But if he cleaned up their mess, he would sort it properly. And if he didn't, he's making problems for himself in the future.
Well, no, because you're under the assumption that there's already stuff in the bins that isn't sorted, which is why he went through it again.
Does this school have janitors or cafeteria staff? Because I feel like they should be the ones
they have
clearing.
a bus that serves food.
Right.
And they have dog friendly or not friendly common areas.
Right.
And they also have deputization in a matter of minutes. So
and a security guard that apparently is in charge of everything else at the entire school.
But only for a day until he's not there anymore. Right. We never.
And he wasn't there before because he didn't know Victor Monty's reputation. Right.
It's like Groundhog Day, but in reverse.
Ayarzuki says, I also have an epic beard, so it's okay. All right, so they're leaving, and they head out to where the buzz cams were, and they're like, whoa, I don't see anything. But then here comes, what does he call it? He calls it like a sheriff jump or something when he transforms. Space jump. He goes, space jump. And then that's a cool effect. I dig it.
Space jump.
I like it. You know, it's not the normal swoosh in that you would see a lot of the Ranger, like with the color. It's more like an electricity teleport. I think it's a cool effect. Yeah. And then Yellow's like, there it is. And I don't think he said that, but I don't know. I thought that was a funny picture.
That was good.
And he's like,
you got me. That's a point for you.
Yes, Ninja Steel.
Thank you.
So Sherrif Skyfire comes in, and he does this a lot. I mean, a lot of Sentai and actors do, but he's very much like from the heart. I am very truthful with my heart. I believe this. Truthfully, you and I must talk from the heart.
Indigestion. Let's fight.
Thank you for the heart, Zarazuki. Okay, so he comes in and he's basically like, surrender to me, Madamodius says you have her thing. And they're like, oh, you work for Madamodius? You're obviously a bad guy, which is a fair assessment on their part. Aliens teleport down to Earth, say they work for Madamodius, and attack. Yep. So I don't think they're in the wrong here.
Time out.
Yeah.
I love how this is the exact opposite of the Masked Rider crossover. Hey, we're here to help you. No, you're not. You didn't say exactly who you work for by name. But we sent a transmission. Not from the likes of you. Let's fight. Where this is, I work for the bad guy. Oh, clearly you are a bad guy. Let's fight.
So you just said that Ninja Steel is better than Mighty Morphin.
I just said that this exact interaction of dummies is better than the other interaction of dummies with more quotable lines.
Right. So this scene and or episode of Ninja Steel is better than Mighty Morphin.
Is better than the logic used in the 3-parter that we watched prior and reviewed. 10 seconds only, not the entirety of your episode.
Which is fair enough. Which is why this is only your second favorite season. Overdrive holds the crown. I understand. It can't...
When we eventually talk about that crossover, I hope you're ready. Because I'm bringing the heat.
What crossover is that?
The Overdrive 15th anniversary. We're doing it, and you guys heard it here first. We're going to review it, and there's going to be blood.
Wow, there's going to be blood. I'm looking at this lineup, and Pink once again doing her own thing. Yeah, they're all kind of looking at the bad guy, and she's sort of like, "What are you guys looking at?"
I think she's actually looking at the camera.
No, it looks like she's giving side eye to one of the Rangers in the middle. Like maybe like Levi, what's with the hat, man? You're not pulling it off, bro.
Why are you wearing white? You're the Gold Ranger.
Yeah, that's a really good question. That bothers me now that you said that. I didn't even think of that.
Steal.
That's a point. Point for you.
Yes. Yes.
All right, so we're on slide 50 out of 200. So we. Is it possible this is going to become a two-part episode?
Nope, we're finishing it today. And before we continue, Arizuki said, can we have a live watch party? Like, set up a camera in the living room, watch Overdrive, and Bigdawg just jumping around yelling about how much he loves it.
And this is why I confused my wife with my co-host, because... Go ahead, Bigdawg.
What I will say, spoiler alert to the world, I will be hanging out with Gazbot this Friday.
Oh, whoa, okay.
And if you want to see this, let us know on the Facebook group.
Hold on. That is, I'm not committing to that. You're making announcements for things that we haven't even talked about.
We're talking about it here live. That's how it gets done. If we get 15 people individually in the comments to say it, I will make it work with the limited amount of technology knowledge I have.
I like the idea of the live watch party. I'm not committing to doing it Friday. I have not looked into how to do it at all. I don't know that I'm ready to do it. Here's what you guys don't understand. I do all the tech side of this. I do all the prep. Bigdawg shows up late, talks for an hour, gets angry,
game announcements,
and then leaves. And then I do everything else. So this is like, oh, by the way, we're gonna have this great new sculpture in the museum, and then they walk out, and I have to sculpt it. That's what's
here's what I can promise. At the very least, I can go.
I'm giving you a one shot. Here's your one
shot. Oh wow. Oh, the Rangers failed again, but got a new power up. Okay, on to the next episode. Okay, they're still like that. Oh, well, it's a good thing the Blue Rangers so great.
So it'll look terrible. You can see this view, which is not very good, and it wouldn't have the Action Activate logo on it, but otherwise pretty accurate. So yeah, do not hold your breath for a Friday show. But what I was going to say, which I thought I was setting you up for, because Arizuki, who's my wife, for those that don't know, suggested we do a live Overdrive watch party. And 3 days ago, Bigdawg said, hey, we should do a live Overdrive watch party. So I was saying, hey, great minds think alike. I get along with you both. Look at this. That's all I was getting at. Not, hey, announce a show in 2 days that I'm
just cutting out the middleman, and it's in
2 days.
It's in 4.
Okay, 4. It's not enough time.
Look, plenty of time.
This is going to be a two-part episode.
Let the people know. If you let us know in the Facebook group, there's a strong possibility that it may or may not happen, pending on further instructions.
Oh my God! Chat is going crazy. Wow, we are way back. Okay, so
I love how frazzled you are. This is why I come here every week, guys, for moments like these. Let's catch up on chat.
Matt Kendall Clare said that white shirt bothers me too now because of what a defender said. Dan Glitter 4-part.
Just steal.
Tell a girl, have fun. Moral Fox Pro Time, do it. We probably will do it, but we're 99.9% not doing it this Friday though. Way to steal my idea and exclude me, says Arizuki. Way to go.
You'll be there. I didn't exclude you exclusively.
Saying Glitter, haha, out of control time. Arizuki, Bigdawg, you're doing an incredibly low-key impersonation of how angry you are for real at Overdrive. Dolly Girl says, I want to see a Friday show. Mortal Effects Friday night show. Look at what you started, man. Hold on. I need a one-shot. Guys, it's not that I don't want to do another show. It's not that I won't think that'd be fun. I'm only one man. There's only so many hours in the day. And here's the thing. I'm not super tech savvy. Everything I do, I'm learning for the first time. I've never done that. I have things other than this show to accomplish that I need a week to get ready. I'm not ready. Don't encourage him. You.
I love this. Thank you all so much for your encouragement. Please continue to praise Gazbot in the comments and especially on the Facebook group, facebook.com/actionactivate. I think. I'm not 100% sure.
Actually, I'll post them up. We have 2. This is the regular Facebook page, and then this is the group where you can chat more.
On both, please spam Overdrive Live Show.
Here's my YouTube as well. Spam it on there. Why not? Sure. Here's my Etsy channel. Put it everywhere. Just go ahead. Ruin my life. To be fair, that wouldn't ruin my life, but
It would be the sweetest compliment you could give at this juncture.
Well, that's why it's difficult, because it's not pleasant to hear. It's not like it wouldn't be fun. It's the pressure of getting it done in 4 days or 3.5, whatever.
I haven't seen him this frazzled in a long time, guys. Please cut him some slack and let him how much it would mean to you to eventually get a live show of Overdrive.
What is chat? We still didn't even catch up on chat.
Silence. Plans have no meaning in a world without tech advisors.
You keep reading chat. I'm just going to go through their morphing sequence.
Oh, hang on. Oh, we got some gems in this chat. Let me go back. Oh, man. Bro time, do it. Out of control. Low key. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Friday night show. Sounds like Bigdawg is volunteering to figure out the tech logistics-ish. I said, I'll hold the phone next to my head.
That is not how we do it.
Immortal Red Fox said, with an after-hours special, Ronnie Gunter lulled. Immortal Red Fox said that you are Billy.
I am Billy.
You're only one bot. And Dolly Girl said, one of the best questions I've heard all day. Can Mario be in it? Ooh, do a Halloween show where you guys are dressed up.
I like the idea of a Halloween show. That sounds fun too.
That actually does sound pretty cool.
That and we could even just do the regular show, but just be dressed up. That might happen. We'll put that on the back burner for now. That doesn't frazzle me. That's something to think about later.
Diane Glitter said that this is the best show ever, and that we have gone Badana Bananas.
Badana Bananas. And then, did you see Urzuki? Silence. Plans have no meaning in a world without tech advisors.
I said that.
Oh, did you? Oh, well,
wow.
Whatever. I was
paying attention, really. But bananas are against the rules. Oop, real Babu, bringing it back.
That's true. Thank you.
Speaking of rules that are yet to be broken, the 6 Rangers are ready to fight.
Okay.
Sherrif Skyfire.
Yes. So here we
Sheriff
go.
Ranger Danger.
So they just start immediately because they're like, it's Morphin time, boom, and they're going. Now, this is not the best fight I've ever seen, but it's fun. If it wasn't this special crossover episode, it would be a good fight. But I kind of wanted it to be more impressive, and it was just fine. But what
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
I was gonna say I'm assuming it was much better in the Japanese edit.
I don't know. I assume this. Good.
Clearly, you can see that it's much brighter, that it's the Japanese footage. But I'm sure there was more intricate things where plot points that are only in the Sentai that aren't in this were used in this fight, and they cut it for continuity reasons.
So you think that this fight, let's say it was 2 minutes long, maybe it was 4 minutes long, and they had to cut stuff out because it referenced. Maybe.
Yep.
I haven't seen it, and in my research, I didn't find that out, what was changed. But it's a very kind of average, banal fight, and that bothers me because, and I don't know what happened in the Japanese footage, but that may or may not be true. But there are 2 reasons it bothers me. One, because it's a special crossover, it should be better. And 2, usually they're fighting monsters that can't see, actors that can't see, can barely move, and they get all kinds of stuff going on. This is someone who has essentially a Sentai suit, but they can feel with their hands better. They could breathe easier. It's easier for Sherrif Skyfire to move and see and coordinate than any character that's ever been in one of these fights on any of these shows. And he's just doing kind of regular old stuff. And I feel like why didn't they go the extra mile? This would have been the character to do it with. That being said, they did do a good job of setting him up as being a badass that could take on the whole squad of Rangers by himself and not be getting overwhelmed. So
exactly.
Story-wise, they did a good job. Fight choreography-wise, I was very underwhelmed. Yeah.
Taking a look at chat. Hands down, the best AA ever. Thank you, Immortal Red Fox. Badana is Odious' female general, if you didn't catch her reference. Thank you. I did not know that. She is the one with the European accent.
Very, very good. I didn't catch that either, so well
The
played.
visor is kind of narrow, so vision issues?
Maybe. Fair enough, but no more so than a lot of other, some of the Rangers have little...
Yeah, I think I'm with Gazbot on this. He'll get the point.
Ninja Steel.
Thank you. For being able to have some advantages against Rangers. Also, his sword actually is scary looking.
Yes.
It's sharp looking.
They have swords, but they look like high-tech plastic Tory magic. His just looks like this is a katana.
Wow, let's go.
Yeah, I imagine it's either made of wood or dulled or whatever, so it's not actually dangerous on set. But it looks like a sword that you or I could pick up and stab someone with, and it would hurt them.
So if this guy is so good that he could take on 6 Rangers by himself, what could possibly be the crux to end this fight?
Well, sorry, I just want to comment on this. I love this. So cartoony. He's like, Dawg. Like if he didn't have a mask on, you'd see like spit flying out of his mouth.
Oh
you know?
yeah, just.
All right, so they're fighting. What could stop this fight? And oh, okay, they're still going. He fires, and Red Ranger blocks it, and this it's kind of hard to see, but there's a smear of energy, so it shot. Oh, sorry, shot at him and blocked it, and it's flying towards this car and this civilian. Now, there's so much to focus on that it didn't occur to me until literally right now. What is she doing there? She wasn't like hiding behind a barrel. She didn't come out of a door. If you look, presumably this is her car, or that's her car. There's a lot of negative space here. And if you've never seen these kind of parking garages that are on rooftops, it's all flat except for the one entrance. She would have had to have been walking for a while to get here. Did she not see 5 superheroes fighting what she would presume a villain loudly with energy for the last 3 minutes?
I have 2 rationales.
Okay, hit me.
1, she's hard of hearing and was just going to her car.
And hard of seeing?
And she didn't see anything 'cause she's got tunnel vision on getting to her car.
That's okay.
2, which may be more likely, she is so old and slow that she does see what's going on, but just cannot move fast enough to get out of the way.
That's worse. Both of these are very ageist of you. Like, well, she's just old and stupid and can't
Well,
live.
if you look at it, when they resolve this conflict, they go 100% into the ageism. Who solves this? An old woman yelling at youngsters.
I'm giving myself a one shot. These are your two hypotheses, right? I'm the old woman. Okay. Battle. Oh, I don't see her here. Battle. Light, battle. That's one. No one is that deaf and blind that can still be out in the world that they would not notice that.
I think your scope of old people is limited.
That's still out in the world independently? Okay. 2, the worst one. This is the one you thought was more plausible. This is the battle. Battle. Oh boy, I see what's happening and I hear what's happening, but I'm very slow. Battle. Oh, battle. Oh boy, I hope they don't shoot near me. Battle. Oh, laser. Oh no, a laser. I'm too slow to get out of the way. That's the more plausible? No.
That's what I'm going with. I don't know.
You know what? I feel like I'm really revved up about this, but I think it's still from earlier. I think it's left over.
It definitely is from earlier.
Because I'm really charged up about this, but I think, I just got a lot of energy in me still.
Oh, man, this chat is going off. Thank you guys so much. I am loving what's going on right now. Gaz, why don't you take over chat for a sec?
Okay. Dan Glitter, Badana Bananas. Banana's always female. More's coming. I'm having a hard time catching up. Sorry. So, Diane Glitter said, hard of seeing, LOL. Matt Kendall Claire, she could be deaf and blind, although the blind wouldn't make sense without something to guide. Right, no stick, no dog, no helper. And if she's deaf and blind, why is she walking around on a roof looking for her car? If that's a whole other subplot.
I said tunnel vision. I didn't say she was blind.
But if she is that disabled and she's by herself, we need a story of like, oh, my aunt, she got lost. That's a whole other story that needs to be told.
I'm sorry, did you say plot hole that just widened?
And I did yes. No, I agreed with you, but you're like trying to rationalize why it makes I know it's your second favorite season, but you can't apologize for every little thing. So, Real Babu says,
joke's on you, because at some point we're going to watch my favorite season live.
Why'd you do that? That was weird. The Real Babu says, you've never driven in Florida if you think people like that don't exist.
Ooh!
I have.
But still, point Bigdawg.
No, I refuse to believe that even in Florida somebody would not notice laser fighting, sword wielding, brightly colored 7 people that close to you. And she's not driving, she's walking.
The Real Babu, who has seen this up close and personal, is agreeing with me. So I'm going to take the point.
I don't agree to that. You could take it, but I'm not giving it to you. Matt Kendall Claire, Arizuki says Kaz is full throttle. I'm not even close to full throttle. You don't want to see me.
You're
at
like
full throttle.
Medium throttle. It's like a 2.5 on the odometer.
If I hadn't done a 3-day show yesterday, I would be at full throttle. This is like yeah. Matt Kendall Claire, good one, Steve. Everybody's laughing at Steve's joke. Dolly Girl exists. I see it every day. So a lot of people hate old people. That's what we're learning here.
They don't hate old people. They acknowledge that they exist and have a limited
to this
scope
level,
on how to avoid danger.
I've seen plenty of old people that have various physical ailments. None that would not notice this battle. Whatever. Diane Glitter, I love. Everyone's loving. Why is the episode where I am the most frustrated everyone's favorite episode?
Because you're off the rails. I've always been off the rails, and now we're just seeing my true colors. And you've even got me to admit on camera that Overdrive is my favorite season, so we're going for it.
And you
We're
also
doing it
admitted
live.
that Ninja Steel is better than Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, even if it's just for 10 seconds at one point. And so
That's 100% fair to say
Yeah.
in that context,
Yes.
allegedly.
Florida living. A lot of people talk about Florida and old people. Matt Claire. Well, he is the defender, so he has to defend everything. That's true. That is true.
Except when I attack certain rangers.
I want a live action activated Power Morphicon sets, tuxes, etc. Tuxes. So we would come in. He's talking about Power Morphicon. So the idea is we'd have a live panel, but we'd come in and they're like ba 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 da da ba 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 da da, and we'd come in tuxedos and we'd put like white linen and we'd have like champagne glasses and a candelabra and be like, so Bigdawg, tell me why do you love Operation Overdrive? And then he just
We're gonna
flip the
hold our
table
glasses like this and just.
But it would last for 10 seconds, and then he'd flip the table, and we'd start screaming at each other and running around like idiots.
You see, the thing about Power Rangers is it has to age just well enough that it gives that. I don't know. I can't improv the rest of that.
Babu, Florida is God's waiting room. Diane Glitter, you're right. Even here in Wrinkle City, they would see lasers. So a point for me.
I haven't heard
Glitter.
the God's waiting room joke, but Wrinkle City is a new one.
That's pretty good. So entertaining. Dahlia Girl is liking us. Thank you, Dahlia Girl. Erzuki, I can wear an evening gown and fix your laptop every now and again. That'd be amazing. We'd ring a bell and she'd come in. Oh, hello. Murder Fox, think Conan, Power Ranger Emmys.
We'll compromise. We can wear just bow ties and then our regular T-shirts.
Or just bow ties like Chippendales dancers.
I mean, we could reenact the Chris Farley, what's it called?
The Saturday Night Live sketch?
Patrick Swayze, yeah.
I
just watched a clip about that today.
I'm not in good enough shape, and you're not in bad enough shape.
Well, thank you.
We would both look not very good.
We'd be more similar than we would be.
Yeah. Everyone would be like, oh, I mean, I've seen worse, and I've seen better. Why are they doing this?
We'd get that one, clap of, they're trying.
Yeah.
They're up there.
Okay.
We've gone so far off the rails, I love it. Let's get back to it.
We are an hour in at this point.
And
we are not even halfway through the episode.
Yes, we are. We're most of the way there.
I have the count in front of me. We are not even halfway.
This old woman is going to bring us the way of why everybody is friends again.
Oh, my God. Okay, I'm going to move. There's some chat we'll catch up on in a second. So, here's some good face acting.
Look at that.
Yeah.
She had no idea until this moment she was in dire peril.
You want to keep going with that?
Yeah, she's gonna eat it. Let's
go. So
what
happens is the Red Ranger picks her up, Sheriff Skyfire comes over, and they both go, Martha? And then they start to get along. That's the joke about Batman, sorry.
Ninja Steel.
Ninja Steel. Oh, I got a point. Thank you. Yes, Ninja Steel. So another good face. I love this actress. I hope this was somebody's mom or something, not an actress per se, but just, hey, my aunt would love to be in the show.
Yep.
Because she gets one line and she gives it 100,000%. Because he's like, sorry, ma'am, I should have been looking what I was doing. And she's like, you sure should have. And it's just like, wow, that was everything. Her face, I love her. Because that would be me. If I got to be in an episode and I had one line, my face, my body, my voice, I would lose 3 years of my life delivering that line. And that's what she's doing right here. So
you
good
gave
on
us
her.
A sample of that earlier when I talked about the live stream on Friday.
You've seen nothing. Words have no meaning. All right, so she's like, be more careful. And then it's like, wait, you're a real sheriff? He actually says something, wait, you're like a good real sheriff? And he's like, yes. Oh, no, I've been tricked. And he kind of looks,
deception has fallen upon me yet again. Madam Odious, mark my words, you will meet justice.
Unless you tell me that they're evil, in which case I'll believe you again, of course.
Where is that bomb monster that I left in the hands of evildoers?
Yeah, that never even gets addressed. He should have immediately been like, yeah, that. Oh,
plot hole widened.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so now,
I love it.
This is not the worst episode of Ninja Steel. This is not even the worst episode of Power Rangers I've ever seen. But it's not a good episode, and it bothers me. Because it should be a good episode. He's a fun character. It's a fun crossover. And it's sort of average to below average.
Average.
And it should be at least above average.
It should be at least average, and it's well below average.
I'm saying it's average for Ninja Steel. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, you're pulling that?
I'm judging it against it.
For this thing, it's not terrible.
I'm not trying to defend. I mean, I know it's your second favorite season, but we know, I'm not trying to defend it. As
I'll defend things all the live long.
You will.
I just can't right now.
You'll big dog defend all the live long. No, what I'm saying is, forgetting about how good or bad Ninja Steel is in the creator Power Rangers world.
Yep.
Having watched all the episodes, this is an average episode for this series. And it should be at least above average, because if it's an average episode and he's in it, it's automatically above average. But I think it's below average. Him being in it just barely brings it to average. That's what I'm saying. So it's disappointing that it should be a slam dunk, like an easy win, and he just kind of saves it from being the worst, is how I feel about it.
I think he definitely was there for the episode.
Do we even want to look at chat? There's a lot going on.
Let's glance through it really quick.
Okay.
Let me see what I can do skimming through. You guys are the best. Oh, I can wear an evening gown, blah, blah, blah. Immortal Red Fox is just loving life. Matt Kettle-Claire should be getting some points at the Wrinkle City thing, blah, blah, blah. Could you imagine Bigdawg ragging on Overdrive at Power MorphCon, but then, boom, we get Overdrive Red to crash the panel and challenge him to a martial arts battle. First of all, if we were to do that, I would want it to be Overdrive Blue, Overdrive Black, or a combination of the two. Second of all...
Wait, so you're naming your least favorite Rangers, or the ones you'd want to fight in real life?
No, if we had a martial arts battle of kind of like a b-boy battle where you show your best moves and not actually fight.
Why blue or black?
Because I like them the least in that season.
That's what I said.
Yeah,
so,
Red,
okay,
Mac is Mac.
So you're not saying, oh, they're the ones that have the best martial arts, so I'd want to fight against them. You're saying, oh, if they're mad that I hate their season, I hate them the most in their season.
If I'm going to lose, I'm going to do it against the people I would want to challenge the most. And Mac, so far, I don't hate. I just don't like how he got.
It's funny how you have mantle. You're saying you have these.
See, I'm defending it again. Look what you've done.
You're showing your true colors. Because even when you're trying to say how you don't like these characters, it's still your favorite season. So it's like, oh, these are my least favorite characters in my favorite season. So they still are good, obviously. And
I'm probably just going to challenge you. What's going to happen is Gaz is going to be at this panel by himself, and everybody in the crowd's going to go, "But where's Bigdawg?" And then from the rafters, I'm going to come RKO out of nowhere, drop down, and then the panel will start.
You're not going to attack me in some way? The panel's just going to start after that?
Do you know what an RKO is or no?
I know it's a wrestling term.
Yeah, Randy Orton does it where he grabs your head and jumps up and drops you.
Oh, so what I thought you were saying is you'd just make this dramatic entrance, and then we would just start. You're saying you'd come in and smash my skull, and then we'd just start.
Yeah, because it's wrestling. Of course you're going to smack your hands
Yeah, okay, so wait, come to Power MorphCon, where to be clear, we don't have a panel at Power MorphCon.
We do not.
This is
maybe.
This is so far in a hypothetical, but yeah, show up to Power MorphCon and hope to see that maybe.
And just challenge us to challenge each other all day long.
Guys,
fight.
Remember how frazzled I got when he's like, hey, we need to do a live stream from the living room? And now I'm setting up a panel at a convention that I don't even have a ticket to right now, where he's going to come from the rafters and we're going to do high-level wrestling moves on each other. Do you think he's going to figure out how to do this, or do you think I'm going to be the one studying wrestling?
I think we're going to split the difference, and when somebody asks why it didn't happen, we're going to say, next question.
Oh, brother.
You said it best.
This is a two-part episode. I'm calling it. I'm not saying...
Oh, my God. We can do this.
We're over an hour. We're not halfway through the episode.
Let's keep trucking.
We'll go a little bit further.
Chat. We'll go
a little further, but this is going to be a two-parter. I'm sorry. Okay, so they're off to, and actually for a minute I thought this was going to be a clip show, because when he's like, "Could you tell me about the villains that she sent to your world?" And I legit for a minute thought they were going to be like, "Oh, here's all the villains we fought." They didn't do that, but it might have been better, because what happens is she gets a call on her phone or text, and she's like, "Oh, it's a text from the principal. She wants to see me." There's a lot of problems with this. It's weird that the principal has her personal phone number. It's not unheard of, but it's a little odd that, instead of talking to her at school or, setting some sort of official email, she's just texting her. Whatever. I don't go to their school. I don't know the rules there. But she is going to forsake, again, going to deal with this alien and the threat to go talk to her principal. Again, a problem with school.
It also seems like it's like 4:30 in the afternoon.
That's the other thing. They're out of school, right? I mean, but they did leave during lunch period, so did they just skip school? Or was school over?
They took a long lunch to find
Yeah. So again, the problem with school. Either because that was on school property. Wow, this is creating problems I didn't even realize. I assumed they were on their lunch break and in like the cafeteria like common area. But they left and they've been gone for and as you'll see, they go away and deal with the sheriffs for way more than a single period of lunch. Where's her dog, by the way?
Chilling.
She had the dog
in the Jeep. In
Yellow
Ranger's Jeep. Just
dog's
chilling.
in the Jeep. Okay. So, but anyway, so much time has passed that either they cut the rest of the day or it was after school and they were still, I don't know, whatever. So assuming it's after school because Rangers wouldn't cut school. So it's after school, but she's getting a text from her principal. She kisses Yellow. Those that don't know, they have a relationship. That's something I like about this season, that they have a regular relationship, their boyfriend, girlfriend. They had a fight once or twice and they made up, and it's very realistic. It's not overblown and crazy drama, crazy romantic. It's just, hey, sometimes people date and they happen to be Power Rangers. That's fine.
Pink's throwing shade again.
She is. She's probably like, why does the principal have your phone number?
Just thinking everything through.
That's
like,
weird.
Oh.
What happened to the dog? Wait, are we still on lunch? What's that's the thing. We didn't know, but this whole time she's thinking the way we are. Like, a lot of this doesn't make sense, guys. What if...
She's breaking the fourth wall in her own head.
Yes. The last episode, she just looks at the camera and go, "I'm with you guys." I don't know. So here we just see a buzz cam. For those that don't know what they are, these record the show. They're small enough that they don't notice. Most people don't notice them, but the Rangers, of course, detect them, and that's how they know something as bad is going to happen because they set up cameras to film it. Which again, I think is a great trope. And here's back on the base, they're watching it. And Madame Odious is like, "Well, the sheriff knows the jig is up. We're gonna have to send the bomb guy back down." And basically, it was all just one of those heroes fighting to see heroes fight, and we're right now starting the episode back where we started, where they're about to send the bomb guy down to fight. Only now Sheriff Skyfire is like the 7th Ranger effectively. Excuse me. Check chat real quick. I want to take a sip.
Oh, geez. Is
there a lot?
Martha! The sheriff name, I believe, was a failed nod to characters like Pavan Sheravan and Spellbond. For the space sheriffs,
Skyfire, because they're space sheriffs. Yeah, I can see that. I actually like the name Sheriff Skyfire as an Americanization, to be clear. I think that's cool.
The actor who played Ranger Danger Clint is also the voice of Redbot, which is kind of cool.
See that note right there? Clint equals Redbot voice. Byron Cole. So.
Well, you're welcome.
Yes.
Jiraiya is now considered a space sheriff.
Mm-hmm.
You need the trench coat of baseball. For the wrestling stuff.
Oh yeah.
Send this episode to Scott, and you just might get a panel, as Real Bamboo said. And yeah, everybody else says that I'm beating you on points. I'm definitely not making this up by reading chat wrong. And the bomb guy appears. He's about to shed some explosives.
It's true. Now, he gets there, and he says, I don't remember what his voice is. So I assume he talks like this,
Oh, like Jack.
Like everybody. So he gets down there, and he's like, Madame Odious said to set the bomb for 3 p.m. so that only the Rangers are around. So there's a lot going on here, too. 3 p.m. So that means school isn't over. It's not yet 3 o'clock.
They're just chilling. They ditched
every class. And even after the main threat was over, they were just chilling with Sheriff Skyfire. Yeah, but also, how does Madame Odious know that the Rangers will be there at 3? She says something about training. Maybe they might be there, but she can't know. But she's concerned about other people because she says only the Rangers. Not so that we make sure we get the Rangers, but is she actually concerned with not hurting civilians? That seems hard to believe. It's just a weird thing to say.
Whoop! Moving on.
Okay. So he pulls off one of his globbles. Oh, even better. He sets it for an hour and a half. So that means it's 1:30 because an hour and a half will be 3 o'clock. So 1:30. So yeah. So assuming their lunch period was at 12, they've been gone for an hour and a half.
No, it's New Zealand. The lunch hours are 2 hours there as far as we know.
No, it's not New Zealand. They all have American accents except for the one kid we see later that randomly has a New Zealand accent. So he puts So he puts it in the recycling bin. And then we cut back to the audience like, yeah, oh, we love recycling bin bombs. This is the most exciting thing we've ever seen.
I love how that's their plan. They're like, Kids don't recycle, so there is no way they will find this bomb.
It's so convoluted. And
I
but
love
literally, they cut to the audience, and I understand, like, they're supposed to be the lowest common denominator. They're evil monsters. They just like carnage. But they're like, blah, blah, and it's probably just stock footage. But like, they don't cheer that much when people are exploding and getting cut in half. But he just placed the bomb in a bin, and they're losing their minds.
They love the build-up.
I guess.
The build-up to the bomb-up.
All right, now this scene I like much more with Victor and Monty.
Oh, I love their little scooters.
I love their scooters. Now, where did they get the scooters when even the real security guard doesn't have one? Don't know. Are they rich?
I hope
Maybe.
they didn't confiscate it from somebody with like a broken leg or something.
Okay. You just fixed this episode. The old woman that can't see and hear very well and walks too slow.
Oh my God!
That's where they got the scooter.
No.
Excuse me, ma'am. Didn't you know you're not allowed to use a scooter? And so her and her friend are wandering around. Oh, we don't know what to do.
That's assuming they left school during their lunch and went to a random parking garage.
Apparently, you could do that at this school, and it's fine.
Words have no meaning.
So they come in, and they now have full outfits and everything. Presumably, they've used money they've stolen from people to do this, but, whatever. But I don't care, because
no, they got him from the theater department.
Okay, I'm with you. And
Boom.
then, fine, totally fine. But I don't care, though, because the comedy in it, I'll give you a point for that. The comedy in this, I think, works pretty well. It's still over the top and ridiculous, but it's, again, they leaned way more into it, and it works. And the scooters in the classroom just work for me. I just think it's really funny.
So good.
So they take his,
I was going to say, from what you said earlier to what Arizuki said, this is them being utilized properly. They're jerks in the right way.
Yeah.
They have prop comedy, which is good, and their timing in this scene is awesome. The rest of the series, not always like this, which is unfortunate.
Correct. So they take his hat, and then he complains, and they're like, "Well, taking your shirt too." And he's like, "Well, And also, like I said before, why are people respect him? Here, they actually have uniforms and scooters, so they look kind of official. You sort of think, well, maybe. And then Monty's yelling about one thing, and Victor's taking the blueberries, and they're just, again, being jerks. But then this is the New Zealand kid, which I guess he's just a New Zealand. He's like, "Oh, those aren't my blueberries. There's whatever. I'm a New Zealand guy." And Governor.
I know that's 100% wrong, but so is your accent.
And then it absolutely is wrong. And then Victor leaves immediately, and this is one of my favorite Monty bits from the entire show. He starts pulling out, and his whatever the front of that hooks on the table just a little bit and pulls it out. And I'm not even sure if that was planned or if it's just, it's hard to drive these things. And he pulls out, and he kind of keeps looking like, and it's like this weird, creepy, trying to be cool. And then he immediately accelerates into a wall.
Yep.
And that was legit funny. The whole scene worked, but that to me really worked because I don't know, physical comedy working. The whole scene worked. Good job, you guys.
Agree. Good job.
All right, so now, let me see. We're still not halfway through the episode, by the way.
We're more than halfway. You're good.
You're incorrect. I have slides, and those slides are numbered. The number of slides.
Blaze through these slides.
We have 201 slides. We are on slide 88. And I can't go another hour. So we'll go to a logical stopping point, and then we're gonna have to call it because this is running long.
Keep on keeping on. Let's do it.
All right. So she comes in. Here's the principal, and she goes, "Oh, hey, principal. What's your name?"
Oh, you texted me. What's up?
What does the principal say? That was a while ago. So the principal expects her students to get a text and immediately show up at her office. Either she was home and it was okay for her to be home, or she was cutting class, in which case she should have been in class.
Yeah.
And either the teacher thought she was in class but still thought it was weird that she didn't answer her text in class and leave, which shouldn't be allowed, or she went to class, saw she wasn't in class, and expected her to there's no scenario where it makes sense that the teacher texted her and it doesn't make any sense. Finish the episode on Friday, says Dolly Girl. Friday Night Ranger Roundup. It's possible. It would actually, see, the thing is, it'd be harder to do when we're in person with each other, because I know I have this set up for remote. I don't have it set up for live.
I could bring my laptop and sit in a different room yelling at you.
We're not committing to anything on Friday.
I know. I love just trying to rationalize it. We're like, no, we can't. Keep going. So the logic here makes no sense.
Right. but her punishment, basically the principal wanted to say,
Oh,
hey, you got like 13 tickets today, so you have to sort recycling and garbage.
I love how the irony of this is, what is your punishment for all these tickets that you're given? You have to go split the recycling. Oh, I can't do it. Yeah, nobody's going to do it, so I'm going to do it. And then she's just like, all right, there's no winning.
Yeah,
Like,
it gets.
she has to lose this
You're
episode.
supposed to kind of not be on her side. She's being a jerk. She's not following the rules. And again, realizing that this is mostly for kids, they're trying to teach people responsibility and stuff. But at a certain point, I feel like, yeah, what is she supposed to do? It's not her fault. Like, how much poop are you gonna shovel on top of her? Like, enough already. And she gets there, and she's like, oh, why are you doing that? You already did that. That's not your job. And he's like, well, like you said before, well, somebody's got to do it. Like, look at this thing, clonk clonk. It's metal. It's got to be recycled. Now, obviously, that's the bomb. And it's weird that neither of them are curious about, like, even if they don't know it's a bomb, like, what is that? Like,
I'm surprised he didn't see the readout while he's not looking straight at it.
Yes, and then she looks right at it, and well, I'm getting a little bit ahead because her punishment is to sort it, but he started doing it, so she's like, well, what am I supposed to do now? Because you did my punishment. I'm just gonna get another one. And he's like, well, I couldn't, I had to do it. I couldn't wait. So again, getting back into the weird relationship this school and the principal has. So like, if I'm a student at that school, in class or at home, both times when I shouldn't be answering texts from my principal, if I got texts at all, I should drop everything and immediately get there. And if I'm an hour late, then the thing she wanted me to do gets done by someone else. Like, what? Like,
because it's time sensitive.
Yeah, if it's time sensitive, then I should. Yeah, like whatever. It makes no sense. But then, yeah, and then even if they don't both realize it's a bomb, it's really weird looking. And as someone who has to recycle where I live, you could put a can or a metal bucket or something in recycling, or plastic, even if it's commingled. That's like putting it, like, what do they think it is? A stereo or something, or a boom box, or whatever they think it is. It's got like a million pieces and it's like electronic. You can't just, oh, that's recycling. That's not how it works. So even if they're just going,
look, it's a giant orb.
Right. If it was
made of metal.
If it was literally a metal orb, then yes. But that's clearly not what it is. And if they're trying to teach kids recycling, they're not teaching it correctly, is what I'm saying.
Recycle your bombs is all I've learned.
Friday Ranger Roundup says more artifacts. Tempting these guys on the Friday show is like Gaz fighting Babu for a Bigdawg candle and Bigdawg fighting the whole Overdrive cast for a Gaz candle and the opportunity to enrich our Friday night. Wow. Okay.
I love that there are so many candles. This is not sponsored by Yankee Candle, but if it was, we would have very interesting scents for these candles.
So this is where she's like, well, you did my job. I'm getting kind of sick of this crap. Like, what am I supposed to do? I was saving the world. I just like my dog. And I forgot another part that bothers me here. Again, at this point, I'm mostly on her side, right?
Yep.
And then he's like, well, I couldn't wait because the recycling place closes in an hour or whatever.
Yep.
And she doesn't go, oh, well, I should have had more notice, or I'll help you tomorrow. As much as I'm on her side, she says one of the dumbest things anyone's ever said on any Power Rangers episode. She goes, it closes? I didn't know it closes. Things close. Everything closes. You think the recycling... I mean, a hospital's open 24 hours. 7-Eleven's open 24 hours. But you think a recycling plant that's open 24 hours, you thought it was weird that it closes? What? Like, there's a lot of things...
It's a big hole where the plot goes that you throw your recycling into that never closes.
Yeah. Of all the things she could have justifiably said here, that was not the correct one to say. And then... these guys come out with Sherrif Skyfire. I guess they were in the lair, which is in Mick's workshop.
Still there?
Yeah, can you not hear me? Hello?
Now I can hear you.
Okay, sorry. Wait, so did you not hear any of what I was saying?
No, I heard everything you said except for maybe a handful of words.
Okay, well, anyway, that was dumb.
Yep.
So now Sherrif Skyfire and the Rangers come out of the school. So they did go back to the school, but not to class, because that's where their base is. For those that don't know, it's hidden behind Mick's shop. Mm-hmm. And she's talking to him, and... she's like, oh, I didn't know that, and he says, and this, again, weird, things, he says, you don't have to know everything, but you just have to follow the rules, and they're simple, and don't think about it. And now, I'm all for, not breaking the law and following the rules and recycling all that, but the way he says it is this weird, don't question it. Just do it. Like you don't need to understand why you needed to be here an hour. You just need to do what you're told
It's
without
just
thinking.
right, and you got to do it.
Yeah, and which is weird because Power Rangers has always been about being good and following the rules and helping people, and I'm totally on board with that. I'm not so on board with you don't need to understand why. Just do what I say because I'm the security guard. Like that's
Also, I'm quitting
weird.
today.
Also, I'm quitting today. Yeah, and you know if you had paid attention to your text from the principal earlier, then the whole thing is just so like what is the message they're trying to convey? Is it follow the rules? Is it respect authority? Is it protect the planet with environmentalism? It's just a mess. It's just a mess. Let's see.
Let's chat it up.
Yeah, Erzuki says, "Sorry guys, there's a big pregnant wife kaiju that threatens the possibility of any Friday night shows." Immortal
Oh,
Fox
you
said,
are
"I
way
digress."
behind, dude. We got to scroll up way more than that.
No, tempting these guys with a Friday show. I had said. Oh, I might have skipped some stuff from before. The park. Oh yeah. We missed a lot. I appreciate how much everybody is chatting, but it's hard to keep up. So if we ignored your chat, I apologize. It's just scrolling so fast. Real Babu a while ago said the parking garage is at the school, and the old lady is a lunch lady who was just going home and didn't have her scooter because it was confiscated. Well, that's
there you go.
That does help, but I still feel like at this point somebody should have gone back to some class because we know it's not 3 o'clock again.
Sure.
And then Erzuki, the stream heard you. So okay, so it was just you, Bigdawg. Dolly Girl, I don't like the sheriff's pants. And World Fox. By the way, Erzuki, Matthew Tiberius Gretzky. I guess suggesting names for our unborn child.
There you go. Yeah.
The Immortal Fox. I can confirm that is not the name. So he's quitting, and also he put it. I just realized this. He took the big metal recycling thing, put it in the recycling bin to bring it up to the truck to put it into another recycling bin. And it's not like a big dumpster. It's just a bigger one. Again, not impossible. It just seems like weird, unnecessary steps.
To emphasize that he does not pay attention to things.
And he's looking right at the display, but nope, not looking at it. So he's going to quit, and Skyfire's like, that's what you don't understand is lawmen like us, it's hard, and it's not just you. Take a bite out of crime. And so they're like, oh man, and they all talk about the rules they've broken and how they feel so bad about it, and like, oh, we got to get him his job back because even though this is a completely bizarre system we live under, and I've been unrealistically targeted and unfairly persecuted by this sort of fascistic law.
To ignore another text message. We have to help him.
Yeah, and they're like, okay, and he's like, good, well, I'll go with you or whatever I say here. And then he pulls out his, he's saying all that. Then he pulls out his thing again, and he's like, meanwhile, I have to find this guy, and they're like, oh, that guy, of course, and so on. I'm gonna end it here. We're at 100. That means we're halfway through the episode. So we're going to have to make this a two-parter. We're not going to end exactly right now. Is there any Ranger news that you want to discuss? I'm going to give you a one-shot for this because I think you have something to talk about.
So, Ranger toy news, two-part, both involving GameStop. Part one, I went to a GameStop last week and said, hi, GameStop. I pre-ordered the Goldar Lightning Collection figure from a different GameStop. Can you look within your system to see when it releases? And the guy went, oh, this says some jargon that means we're not getting anymore. It must mean that it already came out. I went, okay, can you check the location that I looked at? Because clearly I know that is wrong.
Right.
But in nicer terms. Then he's like, oh, yeah, it says sometime in October. Cool, thanks. Yeah, did you pre-order it? Yup. That's why I'm frustrated. And then we parted ways. So for the Goldar figure, some people have it right now and have had it for a week or 2 weeks. Some people like myself are probably not getting it for another 2 months. Why? Who knows?
Same. I have a pre-order in that they've been telling me is coming, and you could. Now, what we're hearing is, I share your frustration, but to be the ray of sunshine in this, because I think there's been a lot of negativity from both of us today. Usually, I'm the positive one. They have said that the orders exceeded expectations, which is ridiculous considering it's Goldar. He's a main character. It's not like it was an alternate version of something. But they are making / shipping more. So while it stinks and is unfair that some people are getting them when we pre-ordered them months ago and are going to have to wait, we will get them. Everybody should have an opportunity to get them. It's just going to be delayed, which stinks and is unfair, but at least they didn't say, well, too bad. They are making more. Go ahead.
If you need to fill the void of not being able to buy one kind of Power Ranger figure, fill it with another, because GameStop is doing a clearance sale on most 6-inch figures. Select Marvel Legends, Fortnite figures, Kingdom Hearts figures from Diamond Select, Black Series Star Wars figures, and Bandai Legacy Collection Power Ranger figures are all $5.
If
while
you can
supplies
find them.
last, if you find them at a GameStop.
Yeah, I went to 3 GameStops today. They had nothing from any of those. So
I went to
good
2
luck.
GameStops today and found a copious amount of both, except for Power Rangers. That was the only thing that was missing.
That were on sale for $5? Sorry.
Yep.
Oh, well, good for you. There were some of those series there, but not on sale at any price.
So the one thing I will say, if anybody goes and check the website.
Mm-hmm.
And what I learned is whatever was $5 on the website will ring up for $5. One of the guys at GameStop begrudgingly told me, he's like, yeah, I don't know why they didn't just give us stickers to make this easier. A bunch of these are $5 and we don't know which ones they are because they're still marked full price. So I said, hi, since no one's in the store, can you scan all of these so I know? And he did. And I found a bunch that were for Marvel Legends specifically, and then I didn't even know the Fortnite ones were, but some of the older ones are. But check the website for all of the series that I listed, and if you see it at GameStop, it's more likely than not going to ring up as $5.
One of the stores I went to said that they had people asking them to match the price online, and they wouldn't do that because it's like a different district or it's different something. So no, it's worth trying, but I'm just saying they might not do it for you. The whole thing seems to be a really good deal that is inconsistently enforced depending on where you go and who you talk to. So check it out, try to get the deal, but don't be surprised if it doesn't work out for you because it didn't work out for me. And I'm trying to find an image of the finished art I did, but I'm having trouble with it. Was there any other news that you want to talk about today? Because that was my big news, was the GameStop stuff.
I know in the past I talked about the Heroes of the Grid board game shipping. Mm-hmm. I got mine. Haven't played it yet, but it is massively cool.
Right.
I have 3 giant boxes taking up room, but I'm very excited to eventually play it.
Okay.
I heard that there are some expansions coming soon for the Heroes of the Grid or Battle for the Grid fighting game.
Right.
And other than that, nothing really.
All right. Well, that was pretty much all the news I had was what you talked about. So you want to catch up the chat a little bit while I see if I can find this image that I'm having trouble with?
By the way, Arazuki likes Dolly Girl's hot takes. Immortal Red Fox said, you're still getting an IRF onesie either way. Oh, very cool. That sounds kind of awesome. Bigdawg punch. That was the best.
There it is.
Stayed up past my bedtime for this. Thank you, Arazuki.
Oh, thank you very much.
Dying Glitter couldn't stop watching and really loved the stream. Dolly Girl also liked the stream. Thank you all.
Thank you
and one last bit of news that's Ranger adjacent. This Friday, August 30th, Episode 3 of the Immortal Red Fox. If you have not caught up already, please watch on YouTube. Also, check out Immortal Red Fox on Instagram to get different updates and see different clips, see what's coming up for any conventions.
And Immortal Red Fox, if you have a link you want to throw in chat, a direct link, feel free to throw it in there right now. Otherwise,
please do.
If you go to the Facebook group, I'm sure he'll throw something up there so you can find it if you don't already know where to find it. And it's good stuff and it's getting better all the time, so definitely check it out.
Yeah, I am very stoked for Episode 3 personally, and recommend you guys watch it, even if you have only 10 minutes in between doing stuff or waiting on a bus, whatever it happens to be. Very quick watches.
Agreed,
I don't know how people travel these days.
Waiting on a bus. And my format got all messed up, but that is the finished image of Ninja Steel Pink, which I will eventually have a print of when I make the new series. So there's that. I think that's it for today. We're definitely over an hour. Next week is going to be part 2. So stay tuned for that, and hopefully we can get through it without too much arguing, although it seems like you guys enjoy that, so I have very conflicted feelings about that. Dan Glitter, thanks for sticking around. Thanks, everybody, for sticking around, being in the live chat, watching on rerun. Like, follow, blah, 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 blah.
Do all the things social.
Yes, I am Gazbot. Bigdawg Defender. What do you say,
That's
buddy?
Me.
Close it out.
To the power, everybody.
To the power, everybody. All right, let's do the end credits.
Later.